It helped. A breeze rippled my clothing, and I shifted on my feet, fighting the tears that burned my eyes. I'd give anything in the world if you could be there, Mama, for you to be sitting there in the first row, wearing a beautiful dress. I shook my head and then wiped my eyes. I brought my fingers to my lips and kissed them. Then I reached down to touch her marker. I love you as high as the sky, I murmured. With the familiar ache of grief burning in my chest, I turned and started making my way back to the truck. It was hard to believe that almost 2 years had passed since my mother's death. Sometimes it seemed like forever since I had seen her smile, held her in my arms, and kissed her cheek. Then other times her memory was so strong that it was like I expected to turn a corner in the house and see her there. Through the dark cloud of grief, I hadn't been the easiest person to be around or to love. Those first few months, I drank too much, slept too much, and generally acted like an asshole too much. But somehow Abby held on and wouldn't let go. Having proposed to her so many months ago, I couldn't wait to make her my wife. But unfortunately, life had gotten in the way. Just as I was dealing with the implosion of my personal life, the band experienced an explosion of popularity. More was expected of us than ever before. Our crossover tour with Jacob's Ladder grew bigger and bigger, and we sold out more and more shows as we crisscrossed the country. Then came the Grammys 8 months ago, when we really found ourselves in the celebrity stratosphere. Each and every time Abby and I tried to set a wedding date, another concert or appearance came up. I thought I was never going to get to make my angel Mrs. Jake Slater. But fortunately, we had finally found a 1-week window between the last leg of our tour and the holiday season, and in less than 24 hours, we would be exchanging vows on our own private beach in Mexico. Just the thought sent a goofy grin curving on my lips. As I turned onto the road I'd called home for the last 15 years, I threw up my hand to one of my older neighbors who sat on his front porch. While he waved back, I could only imagine he was grumbling about me and how I'd caused all the traffic on the one-way gravel road. Well, it wasn't entirely all me. Abby was to blame as well, since it had been her idea to have a pre-wedding party at the farm. When I pulled in the driveway, I found cars lining both sides of the road, along with several catering trucks. I eased up beside the barn and hopped out. My dog Angel came yipping to my side. "Hey, girl, you keeping an eye on things for me?" She barked and wagged her tail. I patted her head before I started back up the hillside. Down below the house where we usually held our bonfires, a huge white tent had been erected. We were doing a sit-down dinner and dancing celebration for over 200 people who would be unable to come to Mexico since it was a destination wedding, as someone had called it. Tonight was mainly friends, extended family members, along with our road crew. Tomorrow was intended to be only our closest family and friends. Abby had wanted to keep the actual ceremony small, with only 50 people in attendance. She claimed that she had to share me with so many people, the world, when it came down to it, that on our special day she wanted it to be as private as it could be. As I started up the front walkway, the sweetest sound in the world floated back to me. Abby's singing. Although it was a part of my daily life when we were on tour, I never tired of hearing it. Without her voice, she would have never accidentally fallen into my bed for me to fall in love with. Craning my neck to find her, I jogged up the front steps. Down at the far end of the porch, Abby sat cross-legged on the wicker couch with a guitar on her lap. Eli sat to her right in one of the rocking chairs. He strummed along with her, harmonizing on some of the lines. Gabe leaned back against the porch railing, tapping out the beat with his foot. Since we were coming right off our honeymoon to go back onto the road, I imagined they were trying to get in a little last-minute rehearsal time. Abby's eyes pinched shut in concentration, but as I made my way down the porch, they flew open as if she sensed my presence. Her gaze locked on mine as she sang the lyrics, "And I get lost in your eyes and thrilled at your touch. Nights like these were made for love." With a smile, I winked at her. A pleased flush entered her cheeks as she continued singing. When she strummed the last chord, she glanced anxiously at me. It tugged at my heart that she always sought my approval when it came to her music. I nodded. "Very nice." She gave me a beaming smile. "Thanks."